morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Pitch Light Chronicles. I am Uncle Taz. I'm here with Rob, Donald, and joining us today is the newest host of the Pitch Light Chronicles. You'll see him tonight at 8 p.m. We got Spencer hanging out with us as well to celebrate the opening weekend of the New York Yankees, and what an opening series it was. History was made all over the place, but I do have to say this was not what I expected when we started the season. It was kind of the opposite with Game 2 with some of the defense, but the offense bailed them out. But it was a lot of controversy as well. We're going to dive into that as the show goes on. And returning today, as we finished our first season, Donald's Awards will make its return as well. But I want to kick it around the table. Rob, how are you feeling after your expectations going into the series, and how do you feel coming out of it?
I mean, history was made this weekend. How can we not feel good? I feel great. We torpedoed them. It was a phenomenal series. I mean, aside from the defensive miscues in Game 2, which definitely brought back some PTSD memories, but other than that, it was a phenomenal series. Aaron Judge continues to prove that he is the best player in the sport. He's an absolute monster. Jazz Chisholm is proving all of us right so far. Anthony Volpe's off to a great start. Aaron Boone seems to be smarter than everybody else because everyone was mad they put Goldschmidt leading off after Wells homered, and Goldschmidt's looked phenomenal at the top of the order. Bellinger's looked good. We're still, it's only 3 games in, so we don't want to put too much stock into early numbers, but there's only been a couple of guys that didn't really contribute offensively, and that was like Dominguez and Cabrera. So it was just a really well played series. There was a couple of things to nitpick with pitchers and defense, but I mean, we're 3-0. We made history. 20 runs in 2 games, or in 1 game, 32 runs in the matter of the last 2 of that series is unbelievable. We're getting the league mad again, so it feels like the Yankees are pretty back, right? Like 3 games in, we're already pissing off Major League Baseball. That's how we like it, baby. We want to be the enemy. We want to be the villain. So hey, right. So far, so good. 3 games in, I couldn't feel much better than how I'm feeling right now. I mean, early returns, very, very early returns. It's just pure excitement right now. It's a great time to. Baseball's back and the Yankees are coming out hot, so I love it.
Donald, how are you feeling?
It was an unbelievable series, man. That was as fun series as I can recall. They're on fire. Absolutely wonderful at-bats. Crazy moments. Aaron Judge is playing with a chip on his shoulder. In fact, they're all playing with a chip on their shoulder from the looks of things. It was fantastic. It was really fantastic. They're playing with attitude, and they are delivering. It was crazy. We put up a football score. We're a better football team than the Giants. We scored 20 runs, right, in Game 2. The Giants scored 20 points 5 times. The Yankees are already a fifth of what the Giants did. What an awesome display of hitting, really. And it was nothing to do with the bats. It's the hitter. And we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But even the Brewer manager said, everyone's going to be talking about the bats, and if it is the bats, then everyone's going to be using it. But he says it's not the bats, it's the hitter. And Aaron Judge is the best example of that. He doesn't need the torpedo bat. He's got the same bat as he's always had. Aaron Judge could hit with a toothpick and drive in 50 home runs. That's just who he is. So it doesn't matter what type of bat it is. It's really silly. And it's really important to be a voice here of reason in this torrent of nonsense that's going around on X, started by Dave Portnoy, that Boston moron, because he's just spreading misinformation. And That's dangerous. First of all, he said that Aaron Judge is using a torpedo bat. He's not. Second of all, he's saying that the Yankees have a history of cheating, being cheating scumbags. Oh yeah, right. Name me one time that the Yankees have cheating scumbags.
It's a rich coming from a Patriots fan too, but
Oh,
nonetheless.
right. So that's also misinformation. That's two, and three. He's saying it's the same as a cork bat. It's nothing to do with a cork bat. Listen to Jeff Passan. Jeff Passan. I'm just going to get into it now. Jeff Passan pointed it out. He said that it was more of a solution to a problem because pitching has dominated baseball for years now, and hitting is way down. And so the solution was he actually went to Giancarlo Stanton. And Giancarlo Stanton said that if they evenly distributed the weight of the bat to the areas in which you make contact, then that will help. That's something to do with cheating. That's actually just evening the distribution of weight in the bat. It's instead of it from being at the bottom, it was more at the point where you make contact with the ball. That's all. It's all within regulation. It's the same weight. It's just evenly distributed rather than being all in one place. That makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually smart. So that's misinformation. That is cheating. Blah 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 blah. Giancarlo Stanton uses it. Francisco Lindor uses it. A couple members of the Cubs used it. People have used it in the past. No one was talking about it. It's just now because the Yankees are having this offensive extravaganza where they've scored 36 runs in 2 days that, oh no, we can't have that. So that's some misinformation there. And it's important to be a voice of reason. That's perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with them. Do they look a little goofy? Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it's the same weight distribution. So it really doesn't matter. It's just put in the areas in which you make contact with the ball. That's to be honest. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to credit the Yankee analytics team.
They actually did something right.
The Yankee analytics guys actually done something really useful. That's excellent news. So credit to that guy. That guy deserves credit for finding a solution to a problem that's been going on for years where, the pitchers have an incredible advantage. And it's and this is a good way of counteracting that by just not cheating, same bat. It's just that the weight's used more evenly. That's it.
So, Spencer, I want to get your take on the opening series, the bat controversy, and give us a little preview of the debuting show tonight.
I appreciate that, Bobby. Well, first of all, I was at opening day, and it's always a wonderful experience. I never get tired of it. And you're looking at, I've said this before, I'm sorry if this is like a broken record for you guys, but, I'm a 40-plus year fan, 26 year season ticket holder. This was I think the sixth straight opening day I've been to since 2019. I was also at opening day 2009 and 1982 when I was in elementary school. It never gets old. I always feel that rush. I always feel that excitement. I always feel a lot of emotions of hope, a lot of good things happening when I go to opening day. This year I was transported by my friend Lynn Pearson, so she was very wonderful. In getting to Yankee Stadium, in navigating in the concourses and the crowds, I will say it does something to you, and not in a good way. It really brings out your animal instincts. As she was taking me in, I said, first, let's go to the main store. And she pushed me left and right, and she's escorting me. And I said, you're going too hard. You're going the wrong way. You don't know where the hell you're going. I had to make a stop at what's called the Legacy Club. I said, okay, we got to go to the elevator. No, you're going the wrong way for the elevator. What the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to you don't know where you're going. You're supposed to step out left. You stepped out right. It's like, this woman, she went out of her way to take me to the, to the game and to get there. And when we finally had a moment, to sort of gather ourselves, I said, Lynn, thank you for putting up with me and understanding. My friend Lynn also is a season ticket holder with the Rutgers football team. So we sort of have this season ticket holder connection, and we sort of understand, the vibe that happens when you go to these big events with large crowds. First of all, the moment of silence for Miller Gardner. I've been in attendance. You guys have been in attendance for these moments of silence before. But I never really felt the quiet like I did in that moment. And you could really feel the unification of the Yankee fans in their ache, in their anguish, for Brett Gardner and for his wife and for Hunter. You really felt that, with the exception of a little ambient noise, it got eerily quiet. And I think the Yankee fans definitely deserve their props, for showing respect in that moment. The Austin Wells home run. Well, first of all, what it's like to go to a game when you're visually impaired. The crowd really gets you through it. You could hear the din of the crowd, rise and get a little louder and a little louder. And then when Austin Wells' home run and Anthony Volpe's home run went over the fence and everybody erupted, you knew that something good happened. When Aaron Judge hit that run-scoring double, it was a little bit different. There wasn't the same eruption, as the home runs were. In the ninth inning, with the drama of the bases being loaded, I mean, you could really feel the tension in that spot. It got to the point where Lynn was counting down the pitch clock for me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then she'd say, okay, the pitcher is winding up. And at that point, you just start to listen. Do you hear a thud of the catcher's mitt catching the ball, or do you hear a crack of the bat? If it's a thud, is the crowd kind of quiet? That means that it's ball, or are they happy? Is there clapping? That tells you it's a strike. And of course, if you hear, a crack of the bat, that tells you if it's a foul ball, if it's kind of like a mild reaction. If it's a strikeout, of course, you hear a loud cheer. If there's a crack of the bat and then you hear an eruption, 3 seconds later, that a play was fielded. So even with the visual difficulties, I still had a great time during the game. I never felt like I was lost. Of course, my friend Lynn, she was really good at keeping me up to date with balls and strikes and who was at bat. So that was pretty cool. But there were a couple things that I wasn't aware of. I didn't know about the problem with Rodon and his ankle being twisted. I didn't realize that Jazz Chisholm made a spectacular play, I think, that was significant in helping the Yankees secure the win. I didn't even know that Mark Leiter went into the game and pitched. So there were some things I missed, but no matter, it was a great day, and to be in attendance for Austin Wells's game leadoff home run. I couldn't believe that. I was sitting there thinking, okay, I know Ricky Henderson never hit a home run for us at leadoff, but I'm thinking, somewhere in Yankees history, there's got to be someone that we don't know too well, who hit a leadoff home run on opening day. I could not believe that it never happened until Austin Wells did. And of course, it's exciting that he's the first catcher to hit a leadoff home run. So all of a sudden, it's like, you're a part of history. This is going to be the answer to a trivia question 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So that is a really neat thing. But I was glad to be at my opening day. I was exhausted the next day. It's a good thing the Yankees don't play the next day, because I needed that day to recover. And then the other games, the 20-9 victory and the 12-3 victory. I mean, nobody could have seen that coming. It's a great way to start the season. I am a little disappointed that I can no longer say that I was at the last game that Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs. That was in 2023. But, it was great seeing him, just give a performance like that, and to raise the confidence of Yankees fans, and to, have us feeling really optimistic about this team. If you remember also, last year when the Yankees played the Brewers in Milwaukee, in the second game they scored 15 runs, and in the last game they scored 15 runs. I don't know for sure. I could have Googled it, but I'm too lazy to Google. But I think they scored about 10 runs in the opening game too. So I think Milwaukee is really, really glad to escape from New York. And as far as this bat thing, as soon as I heard about it, I thought, oh no, oh no, here we go, here we go. This is something that the lowest common denominator fan is going to use, to strike against the Yankees. We already know that it's Major League Baseball specified. It fits their specifications. Every team is using it. It's not exclusive to the Yankees. They're not going up there with a Bugs Bunny bat. They're not going up there with a Wile E. Coyote, basher bat, that they ordered from Acme. So let's, let this die down. But we know it's not going to happen. We know that this is something that's going to continue all season long. So hold your breath, get your aspirin. It's going to be a headache, but it ain't going nowhere. And we're just going to have to deal with it. But, haters going to hate.
No, it's definitely a haters going to hate mentality. It's like the wrong people were coming out and making a whole big deal out of it. When if they just did a little bit of research, like we've been saying, the Yankees, it's not exclusive to them.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the exact design might have been from the Yankees analytical department, but the specifications are still within the MLB regulations. Otherwise, they would have never been able to use the bat.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like the whole lineup had it.
Yeah.
So, I thought the other BS controversy was, even before the whole bat thing came out, with Volpe's home run, where somebody put their foot in their mouth saying, well, that's the only stadium it would be a home run in. Well, it'd be a home run in 10 other stadiums because only the Yankees can hit home runs, to that spot, which we've exhausted that point over and over again.
All right, Bobby, you are preaching to the choir, and I apologize for cutting you off, but I am exasperated about hearing about, the Yankees short porch and how it benefits the Yankees. First of all, the other team gets a crack at that wall. Nobody ever talks about the 399 wall in left center. Nobody talks about the 410-foot wall in center field. I've stood at that wall also. You've stood at that wall. It's pretty far. We've all stood at that wall in the stands. You know something? It's not exactly short, okay? Nobody seems to care about the 301 short porch at Fenway Park. And it's not like the Yankees hit 10 home runs a game over that wall. I mean, nobody seems to care that Jake Bauers hit a home run in that spot. I'm tired of it. It's an oversimplification. It's not like you can say that you would take Anthony Volpe out of the stadium and play the exact same game in another stadium and it wouldn't be out. There's more to it than that. You could really go deep with it, but it's just more complicated than taking a swing and a hit. So yeah, I'm tired of it also.
Yeah, Rob, I got a question for you with Cortez. Do you think this was karma for him for all the trash talking he gave last year? Because I was kind of like, he always had his mouth open, and then kind of derailed our World Series run with one pitch to Freeman. But I kind of felt like it was karma for all the loudmouthness of him last postseason.
Barely spoke last postseason. He shouldn't have been pitching last postseason. That wasn't his fault. That was Aaron Boone's fault. But no, the Yankees knew him. Aaron Judge said it. They know who he is. He's been his teammate for years. They know what Nestor Cortez is. If he misses his spot, he doesn't throw very hard, he's going to get tagged. And the Yankees said they're going to be aggressive against him because that's when you can beat Nestor. If you get to him early in the count, just watching him pitch over the last few years, that's how you beat Nestor Cortez. The Yankees had a game plan for him. I don't think it was karma. I don't know if Nestor was given one back because some people are like, oh, this is because of the World Series is given back to the Yankees. I don't think it was that. I felt terrible for Nestor. As excited as I was, I felt really bad for him because I do want him to be good. I do want him to have a lot of success and get himself a nice contract in the offseason. I like Nestor Cortez. I just really like the trade a lot more to get a closer for him. But I felt terrible for him. But right after that, I was just like, hey, we just put up 3 straight home runs and 3 straight pitches. I couldn't care less anymore. I don't think it was karma. The Yankees had a game plan, and for once they actually stuck to it, and it worked. So Karma, no. Batting practice, he was throwing it. I don't think it was on purpose. And I just think there was just the fact that look at the same thing we said the other day. The Brewers know Devin Williams, and they tattooed him for the first few batters of that game. The Yankees know Nestor Cortez, and they absolutely beat the crap out of him. So it's just a matter of the guy better than another team will. I wouldn't be surprised if Nestor goes out in his next start and goes 5-6 quality innings. That's just the kind of pitcher he is. Yankees knew him. Aaron Judge knows him better than anyone probably. He told these guys, go after him early. And that's exactly what they did. Professional batters like Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Judge stick to the game plan, and you can beat up just about any pitcher if you do that, especially when you're a good hitter. So I don't think it was karma. I just think it was a matter of Yankees took advantage of 3 straight mistakes, which, again, that doesn't happen because of karma. That doesn't happen because he's letting you let it happen. Nestor was trying. That's for damn sure because they had to come out and look at him to see if he was okay. But no, I just think the Yankees stuck to their game plan and kicked the crap out of him.
Yeah, I don't think he was serving one up to them at all. It wasn't for a lack of effort. It was a lack of execution from Nestor's part. All right. I do want to give a quick shout out to the chat before we get into the next segment. As we are now over 20 minutes in, I want to say what's up to Cold Italian Peaches, CT Carnes, Doran Stauber, Ken, NFE from the Strike Zone, Acevedo. We have FJ hanging out with us today. We got Medina, who was at the game on Saturday, which is pretty cool. We also have, as always, Sean Browning. We got Nosebleed Section hanging out with us, Damian Serrano, Jonathan. There's so many people hanging out with us today. This is awesome. We have the Egyptian magician hanging out, and it's Stephen B. What's going on, Steve? So I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us this morning. And if you are not subscribed, hit that sub button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our shows as we all stay live.
Yeah, and check out Ken's new video. He put it up there earlier in the chat. What's up to Ken? What's up to my dad? Ken uploaded a video about the torpedo bats on his channel, so subscribe to him. Yankees The Ugly Truth. Ken's doing great work over there. I want everyone to go over and sub to Ken if you haven't yet, because Ken Claus gives back to us so much, and I want to give back to Ken as much as we possibly can before his channel takes off. So please go over to the Yankees The Ugly Truth and subscribe to Ken's channel and check out his new video.
And as we always enjoy doing at the end of every series is also the Yankee Awards. So let's get to it.
Here we go. All right, let's get started. What a great series to talk about. It doesn't get any better than this. So let's start with the easy one. The MVP happens to be the reigning league MVP and the greatest offensive machine in the league. And that happens to be number 99, Aaron Judge. My guy here got his bobblehead, his 62 bobblehead. It tends to be good luck. Every time I bring this guy out, Aaron Judge seems to go off. So this guy is going to have pride and place on my mantelpiece all year long.
Donald, did you get that bobblehead from a giveaway at Yankee Stadium? Did you score it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. Let me tell you something. Getting those bobbleheads, that is no easy task.
No.
These days, for a 7 o'clock game, no, seriously, for a 7 o'clock game on a weeknight, if you want to score an Aaron Judge bobblehead or an Austin Wells bobblehead, doesn't even matter these days. You really got to get your ass online at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon to score a bobblehead like that. It is just amazing how the crowds will come out and jam the stadium entrances to get those bobbleheads. So I applaud you. You deserve an MVP for getting the bobbleheads, man. You really deserve that.
All right. I didn't need to queue at 12 o'clock. I guess I just have the Midas touch.
Your defense.
All right. And anyway, I'm giving Aaron Judge the MVP. Nice and easy to start with. Rob.
Yeah, it's Aaron Judge. Any other series, it might be Jazz, but it's Aaron Judge. You don't have the series he does. Best player in baseball. I don't need to keep repeating myself, but I will. He's the best player in the sport, and we're lucky to have him. Captain, Aaron Judge, MVP.
Yeah, I had Aaron Judge too. There was no contest.
Absolutely. And Spence.
Next.
Well, no, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the guy.
No, what you
almost
guys
hit,
did?
like,
What you guys did?
the guy almost hit the cycle of home runs, which is unprecedented. The only person that got close was A-Rod in recent times, and that is not even that recent. Absolutely remarkable. He was so close to hitting a fourth home run. So close. It was just that far off the top of the wall, and it would have gotten a fourth home run. Only Aaron Judge could disappoint you by hitting a hard hit double off the wall, right? After 3 home runs, and then to go and deliver another no doubter yesterday.
Yeah,
he was on. He was absolutely on fire, and also he broke the record, his own record for RBIs in a game. He got 8 RBIs himself. Yeah. Crazy stuff. So yeah, he is the MVP. The low key. There's a lot of conversations for the low key. You could easily go with a bunch of guys. You could go with Austin Wells, but my guy has to be Jazz Chisholm. The Jazzy Judge combo meal is what I'm going to call them now. Delivering extra ether. I mean, they freaking etherized the Brewers, and Judge and Jazz were a big part of that, man. Like, Jazz was ridiculous. He looks like he could hit 40 this year. He really could. He's got that swing. And it's tailor-made for that short porch. It's tailor-made for it. And he is delivering. So I'm excited to see a whole year of Jazz. Jazz is on fire. Yep. He's got something to prove this year too, and we're lucky to have him under control for the next couple of years because this guy looks like he's. Do you know what he needed? And I actually believe this. He just needed to be at a big team. He's got the big personality. He hated it in Miami. From what I understand, he was mistreated over in Miami because he didn't like his kind of personality. And credit to Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone's like, I really don't care what your personality is, man. Just be who yourself, be who you are, and you'll fit in right here. And he has, man. And he's at home here, and he's just been incredible. So, low-key MVP, Jazz Chisholm. He also looks good at second, too. And I can testify to Spencer that play that he made in Game 1 was ridiculously good.
Thank you, Don.
That was brilliant. The guy's brilliant. So I'm excited to see a whole year of Jazz. So Jazz, I'm going to low-key give him an opportunity. I think he can hit 40 this year. So he's my low-key MVP. Rob.
Yeah, you're right. There's so many choices because you can say it's Volpe because he looked really good at the plate, and he had that sweet play at shortstop yesterday on that wicked hop. You can give it to Wells. You can give it to the bullpen if you really want to because the bullpen was really good. I like NFE's shout out of Pablo Reyes. So we can get into him later on. But no, I got to go with Jazz. He just looked fantastic. And there's so many people out there. They want to attack him for his personality. And this is the kind of player that people want on a team. And when we get one, they start complaining about him. I love Jazz Chisholm. I love the trade when we made it. And I was saying it all off season. We're going to have a full season of him, and he's going to have a great year. And so far, so good. And I liked his post-game interview. They were trying to ask about the bat, and he said, hey, it just works, man. And he's got a great personality. He's got a great energy, and that's the kind of player you want. He looks cool. He brings some new gear. I don't even like the show, One Piece, but that gear looked phenomenal. The yellow and red, it looks different, right? He brings a different swagger, I guess you can say, to the Yankees, and we kind of needed it. So you have that. He's pimping some home runs behind Aaron Judge. If he can be that kind of protection behind Judge, that's all we need from him. If he's in the 4 spot, or if you put him, you put him 4, you bat Judge 3rd, if you bat Judge 2nd, whatever it may be, if Bellinger and Jazz are around Judge, that could be a phenomenal protection for the guy in front of and behind him. It's got to be Jazz. What a series, and off to a fantastic start. I'm very excited he's here for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I could have had a couple people, and I had narrowed it down to two, and I had to narrow it down to one. So Jazz got my low-key MVP just because of his production at the plate, his defense, but also he got the edge over who I have for my clutch player just because of the protection for Judge. It was something that we were not sure who was going to be that guy, and I think he filled that role very well to start the season. So Jazz got the edge over my clutch player, so I got Jazz the MVP, the low key.
Okay,
I gave the I gave it to Austin Wells. That's what I decided before we came on. I'm sticking with it, but you guys made good points about Jazz. With Austin Wells, I think the big question was, could he continue what he was doing in spring training into the regular season? And he's proven that he could. He did that like right off the bat, pardon the pun. But I also like the way that he handled the pitching staff. I feel like he's really in control now. I feel like his maturity is accelerating at an exponential rate. And I think he's going to be an all-star this year. Maybe a backup all-star. It wouldn't surprise me if he was the starting catcher in the all-star game. So I'm going to give it to him. More so for his catching, but he did some good things. He did some good things at the plate as well.
Yeah, I do agree that he's going to be an all-star this year for sure. Let's get into the Clutch Award. This is something that you could give to a bunch of guys. To be fair, Aaron Judge was as clutch as it got. I mean, he was ridiculous, but it's only fair to give other guys a mention. And this is a good award to do that. Paul Goldschmidt had an unbelievable series. He got 417, and he looks great leading off, as Rob points out. 417 with a homer and 2 RBIs. So there's Goldschmidt, but there's also Cody Bellinger. And this is going to be a battle. It's going to be a gladiator battle to see who's going to get the clutch award between those two. I am going to give it to Cody Bellinger. 6 RBIs, 400 batting average, a home run. He just looks like he's made for pinstripes. So my clutch award goes to Cody Bellinger. You could probably give it to both of them, but I try and keep it to just one. Just so that we could collate it all by the end of the year. We're going to try and stick to one. So my clutch award is going to go to Bailey with a massive shout out to Goldschmidt because he looked fantastic. He also looked great at first base too. That dude was having to jump around like Spider-Man to save a lot of the throws in the infield in game 2. I thought he was great, but Bailey just was that little bit better for me because he was always driving in runs. Every time he was up, he looked like he was driving in a run. So he gets that. Rob.
For this one, I was thinking, like, do I give it to the MIT tech that came up with the bat idea? Do I give it to Goldschmidt? Do I give it to Bellinger? There's so many pitchers that came through in the clutch. Even though we had big leads in that first game, the bullpen was really good. Tim Hill came in multiple opportunities and did his job. I got to go with Austin Wells, though, because to lead off the game, the first batter of the new year, to do what he did, and then do it again in game 2 when they drop him in the lineup and everyone's like, this is so disrespectful. And then he's like, it doesn't matter where I'm hitting. And then Spencer brought up a great point, the way he handled the entire pitching staff. 3 straight games, usually the Yankees don't do that. And Max Fried, it really wasn't his fault as bad as he didn't look great, but the defense didn't help him. But he was calling a great game from start to finish until they had to take him out for it was a blowout. But I think Austin Wells deserves the shout, and you can't go wrong here with Bellinger or Goldschmidt or Tim Hill or Mark Leiter or Luke Weaver, even for his one appearance. I think
Tim Hill had a really good series.
Yeah, Tim Hill was fantastic, and I'm glad he was brought back. I got to go with Austin Wells. I thought hitting a homer in the leadoff spot, and then the next day he's dropped, and he still hits a home run. That's pretty impressive, and he caught a great game every single time out. I'm so excited for Austin Wells, and I want him to get an award out of the gate, so I'm going to give it to him.
I'm glad you mentioned Wells because obviously after game 1, Wells was the star of the show. It just goes to show that when you score freaking 600 runs. There's only so many awards you can give out, but Austin Wells was awesome, man. And you're right, he called an unbelievable game behind the plate.
Yep.
I thought he was a magician back there, and also his pitch framing is so underrated because those marginal pitches that are slightly outside the zone, he frames them so well that they look like a strike all day, and he got them. So that's just a really classy catcher right there, man. So he's going to be special, and I think he will be an all-star this year. Spence?
I'm giving it to Goldschmidt. I thought about Jazz Chisholm. When you hit 2 home runs in one game behind Aaron Judge, you definitely merit it. But I'm giving it to Goldschmidt because he exceeded expectations. He did it from the leadoff spot on Sunday. He had never done that before, and he responded well. He responded successfully, and he produced in the other games as well. So I feel good about giving Paul Goldschmidt, the new Yankee, the Clutch Award. And you want to see these guys, especially an older guy like Goldschmidt, you want to see them get off to a good start. I mean, if they went like 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts in a game, 3 strikeouts in a game, I mean, that can really start to get to guys very, very fast. And the Yankee Stadium crowds can be very impatient and very unforgiving with starts like that. So I'm happy to see him get off to a great start. Happy to see Bellinger get off to a good start. But I just thought that Goldschmidt, he kind of stood out a little bit. Yeah, he stood out a little bit more to me than the other guys. But, we're splitting
massive upgrade over Rizzo, and he's spot on, man. That's
Yeah.
I was going to give myself the Clutch Award for calling Wells' home run, but it was I had to go. I went with Bellinger just because the not only just the offense but the defense as well. I thought that he was just as locked in as any of the top guys on the bill. So he made some phenomenal plays in the outfield.
Yes, he did.
He was, the sack flies. Not, I thought that he really, they pointed out on the broadcast, and that's what kind of nailed it. Hit the nail on the head for me. He was willing to sacrifice a little bit of his power swing to become more of a contact hitter, and pass the baton type of guy, and we saw that this series. And I think that when you're coming in, when you're the guy that we've been waiting for, and you come in and you have that type of impact, it's not easy to do with that weight on your shoulders, especially at home. Yeah. So I gave it to Bellinger.
I'm glad you pointed that out. What about that play that he made where he had to track back over his head and make that catch on Stroman? Because Stroman got hit pretty hard on that, and Belly went way over his shoulder and made a beautiful catch, saved what could have been a big inning right there. So, and then I'm glad you point out the sack flies. That's something that we just didn't do last year. We were not good in situations. Situational hitting was not our strong suit. And Bellinger looks like he's ideal for situational hitting. He looks like he's ideal with runners in scoring position because he's got a really good approach at the plate. And if a situation calls for a sac fly, he'll be more than happy to do it. That's why I kind of gave him the edge, because I thought it was really key. He was on 6 RBIs, speaks for itself, and a 400 batting average. What a series! So there was no wrong answer in the Clutch Award. Let's go to the Aaron Boone Award. I'm giving him 10 out of 10. Yep. 10 out of 10. Everything he touched was magic. The only thing I disagreed with was Pablo Reyes. But when your team scores 400 runs in a series, I think we can overlook it. He was spot on with Goldschmidt leading off. He was spot on with Wells leading off. He's spot on with Jazz being cleanup hitter. Everything he touched was spot on. And his bullpen management was chef's kiss. His bullpen management was perfecto. And every move, getting Stroman out after 4 2/3, even though Stroman was pissed off about it, was the right call. Because, and Tim Hill, going to Tim Hill when he did, right call. So everything he did was actually spot on. So I have to give Aaron Boone a lot of credit, and also give him credit for the fact that their approach was spot on to start this series. There was no malaise. It didn't matter whether it was 80 degrees or freaking 30 degrees. The Yankees still absolutely torched the Brewers, and that has a lot to do with their approach, and that comes from leadership. So Aaron Boone, 10 out of 10. Let's go with Rob.
10 out of 10. I can't find anything. The Reyes decision, but he took him out, and Peraza came in and hit a home run. So even then, he made a good decision late in that game. Yeah, it was a 10 out of 10. He was fantastic. Nothing bad that entire series. Every decision he made seemed to be a good one. So there is not a more 10 out of 10 series than this one for Aaron Boone.
Yeah, facts. Tats.
Yeah, I get it's 10 out of 10. The one move I thought was really creative was putting in Carrasco out of the bullpen, being he was going to be throwing a bullpen session anyway, and saving a bullpen arm for an inning, for a little bit, not knowing what the next day is going to bring. In a blowout game, to make that kind of move, and really going so far outside the box, and like you said, he just had the Midas touch this week. So I thought that was something that was really interesting to see, and it worked out. So no harm, no foul. And Carrasco didn't look, he didn't look too bad himself either coming out of the pen. So that's something that they could always have in their back pocket. So it's 10 out of 10. He called a great series.
He really did.
He gets a 10 because he had, first of all, his players, came through for him. Everybody performed. But I think Boone, showed that he has a good feel for his team as well, in particular, like with the pitching. He wasn't concerned about personal goals. He wasn't concerned about Rodon getting, the win. So he took him out with 1 out to go, and he would have qualified. Same thing with Stroman. With Stroman, I have no qualms about him, complaining about being taken out what he thought was too soon. You want guys to want to stay in there. You want them to continue competing. And there's been so much controversy and so much against Stroman that, you like to see him come through. He had some moments, he gave him a couple runs. I think it was in that the first inning, it was a little shaky. And I think we all, for a moment thought, this is not going to be good. But he made all the right moves, and his players came through for him. So it's unanimous 10.
Okay, next award. My next award, I'm going to give the pitching award to, this is actually a tough one, but because there's great bullpen arms, I thought Tim Hill deserved a bit of a shout, but I'm going to give it to Rodon for setting the tone. He was a magician out there in game 1. His slider was like remote control slider. It was crazy. So he gets my pitching award. Let's go with Rob.
I mean, yeah, Rodon was great. Tim Hill was really good. Leiter was really good. But we didn't have to see too much of the bullpen. I thought Yoendrys Gomes looked really good.
Yep.
But I got to go with Rodon because opening day takes the ball. Not a lot of people wanted him to get that game, and he looked great. And like I said the other day, it was one of his better starts that he's had as a Yankee. So I'm giving it to Carlos Rodon. Big shout out to Rodon. He needed it. We needed it from him. Good start to his season.
Looks like everybody agrees in the chat. From next week, we'll get all the chats awards in, well, because otherwise this would go on all day. So, but Tats.
Yeah, it was Rodon. Like I said the other day, this was probably his best start since the San Francisco days, and it really, I think, his poise just set the tone for the pitching for the rest of the series. So yeah, Rodon definitely gets the pitching award.
The contrarian in me wants to say Marcus Stroman, only because, again, like he's been, first they were like looking to trade him. Now all of a sudden he's our number 3 guy, and he did decent in his game. But yeah, it was Rodon. I mean, the guy only gave up 1 run. He kept the Yankees in the game on opening day, one of the biggest games of the year. Opening day is a day where you really have to grasp and get a hold of your feelings. Some guys get like so amped up for it that they don't pitch like their normal selves. So he really held it together, and he kept the Yankees in the game. With what turned out to be the tightest game of the series.
Yeah, he did great. Okay, the next award. Very first award of the year. You're My Boy Blue award goes to Peraza. He is my boy. I'm so happy for my boy to hit a 2-run home run. You're My Boy Blue could be anyone, whoever your favorite guy is that you got your heart set on, that delivered. If he comes through, then you get that award. Rob, who's You're My Boy Blue award?
Well, I mean, I love Peraza too. I like Jazz, and Jazz came through.
Yeah.
I like Tim Hill, and Tim Hill came through. But I'm giving it to Yoendrys Gomez because I really like him, and I was happy that he got a shot this spring. It was his last chance because he was on his last option. He did not give up a run all spring, and he made the team, deservedly so, and looked pretty damn good in his first appearance of the season. So I'm giving it to my boy Yoendrys Gomez. He's also growing the beard as well. So I like what I saw from Yoendrys. I'm hoping that we see a lot more of that this season because he can be a real weapon out of the bullpen with his skill set. He's added that sweeper. It's looked really good. That fastball looks good. Whatever tweaks he made this offseason seemingly working so far. Very excited for him. Very happy for him.
The NFC points out the beard policy. That's not a bad one.
Yeah,
Taz.
the bearded bombers, right? We'll coin that phrase. No, I had Volpe. He's a guy. I said he had to get out to a hot start to really kind of simmer down the rhetoric on him, even though it was self-inflicted from Volpe himself from the last the start of his career. But I think the bat was just an anomaly. I think this is really something. I think I still believe he's going to have a tremendous third season. And the way he started, it's looking like that could be.
All right. Well, that's cool. This is a successful new award then. Can you get a shout out to your guys? I think it's a good idea.
I'm giving it to Dave Sims, the new radio announcer.
Oh yeah, he was
call.
Good.
Dave Sims, he is just a cool guy. Now I didn't listen to WFAN when he was on WFAN, but he distinguishes himself from John Sterling. I hate to say it, but he even makes you kind of forget that Sterling isn't there anymore. Has a great delivery. It's entertaining. He's good to listen to. He's got a nice voice. Last night he was on WNBC being interviewed by Bruce Beck, and he's 71 years old, but he sounds like he's 31. He is just a cool guy. He's with it. He gets the Yankee aura. He gets the Yankee vibe, and he distinguishes himself. It's really fun listening to games, and I'm gonna love listening to him and Susan all season long. Just for comparison, you guys, I don't know if you guys have done this with your apps. I've listened to Tigers games. Kirk Gibson,
I do,
for instance. Kirk Gibson, great hero. He's great for baseball, great Tiger, but man, he is a bore to listen to. I can't listen to Tigers games when they play the Yankees in spring training because he's just talking. Oh, there's a line drive to left field. Murph's coming around third. He is just a bore to listen to. So it's great to have an announcer that has that certain je ne sais quoi that really adds something to the game. Dave Sims is my guy.
Yeah, guys, I do. I also listen to a lot of radio, and yeah, the Tigers are it's a snooze button.
No, you're spot on. Sims is brilliant. Yeah. I'm excited for him. Right, let's get to the L quickly. My L is there's not too many. Pablo Reyes for throwing the ball all over the infield. He looked like a clown out there. That was the only move I disagreed with. He should have no business being a starting third baseman on any major league roster. And it should have been Peraza against lefties. That's just a fact. And Peraza proved it by hitting that 2-run home run. Pablo Reyes was a complete clown, and if the Yankees didn't have a generational game, then Pablo Reyes would have cost us that game because he was a disaster. Pablo Scissorhands is his new nickname. What an absolute clown. What a freaking clown, honestly. Oh.
He may be wearing a new uniform, but he's still getting Yankee Yellow awards. It's Nestor Cortez. I mean, how he?
Yes.
I apologize to Nestor. Like I said, I feel terrible for him, but not enough to not give him an
I don't
award.
feel bad for him. He cost us the World Series. Welcome.
He was terrible, and if he was doing that in a Yankee uniform, we would be asking for his release still for a whole hour of the show. So I'm giving it to Nestor.
Uncle Tats.
Yeah, I had a couple of single people. I was thinking, Portnoy, that I wanted to go after Kay for bringing it up even on the broadcast. But I'm going to give it to all the crybabies that want to make a big deal out of nothing. It's not like this is exclusive to the Yankees with these bats, and they just want to make something out of nothing. So and all the cheating and all that bullshit. Just if it was any other team, it would not even be it would never even make the front page. But because it's the Yankees, if it was the Dodgers that had these incredible bats, they're geniuses. But it's the Yankees, so they're cheaters. It's a bullshit narrative. It's boring, and it's completely unnecessary. And it throws too much shade on what was a historic weekend.
Spot on, man.
I am giving the L award to any fan in Yankee Stadium that participated in the F. Juan Soto chants. Really, guys, you're really still stuck up on Juan Soto? He was only on our team for a year. The Mets made a better offer for him. Steve Cohen was not going to be denied. If Hal offered him $770 million, he would have offered $780. If Hal offered $800 million, he would have offered $850. Juan Soto came to the major leagues by way of the academies that MLB sets up in the Dominican Republic. He's one of the few that got through. He's so far the most successful that got through. But Juan Soto is also very smart, and he saw what happened to the guys that don't make it through, that don't even get close. And he understands that those academies aren't there to serve the interests of the Dominican Republic. Those academies are only there to serve the interests of Major League Baseball. And for his first 6 years, his talents were serving the interests of Major League Baseball, and he finally got himself into a position where he was going to use his talents to have Major League Baseball serve him. That is why he left the Yankees. That is why he went to the Mets. I don't want to hear any crap about how the Mets are more family-oriented, and they just are a family, and the Yankees are corporate bankers, and we don't care about family. But he was only on our team for a year. He had no loyalty to us, so give it up. Unfortunately, we are going to be hearing those F. Juan Soto chants probably all season long. I guess Jose Altuve is off the hook for a little bit, but I am, hearing the F. Juan Soto chants. It sounds like this. So if you can take that.
All right, so the Aaron Hicks Award, I'm giving the Aaron Hicks Award to Dave Portnoy for spreading a false narrative about this team and that Boston drawl. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. I can't deal with it. But he's also just wrong. It doesn't matter where he's from. He's just wrong. He's just wrong. I watched that 3-minute video. He's like, I just don't care. Yeah, you do care. You just did a 3-minute rant on looking at your ugly ass head and that ugly ass hat that you're wearing, and you're complaining about something that is actually just not reality. It's not a cork bat. The Yankees aren't using fucking aluminum bats. They're not. It's just the weight is spread more evenly through the bat. That's it. That is it. Stop complaining, honestly. And there's also a false narrative saying that Aaron Judge is using one. I mean, of all people, right? He's the one guy that isn't. He's one of the only guys that uses the same bat. So absolutely stupid, and I hate that false narrative because now these morons on X have something to complain about. And now it's going to be used no matter if the Yankees have a good series or a bad series. Though, if they have a bad series, they'll be like, "Look, they couldn't even hit with the fake bat." And then every time they hit a home run, oh look at that, they just hit a home run with a fake bat. So now it's the lowest common denominator now, and it's going to be very irritating. And Dave Portnoy started it. What a freaking moron, Rob.
You took the words right out of my mouth. He should stick to pizza reviews and doing cocaine because he clearly has no idea what he's talking about. That moron comes out and says that Aaron Judge is using the torpedo bat, and he gets the community notes from Twitter. Aaron Judge doesn't use the community notes. And then he says the Yankees are cheating in his stupid Boston accent, which isn't true because the teams were using it yesterday. In fact, his own manager said that players were experimenting with it in the spring. So if he did any sort of research in between his lines, he would know that everything he's saying is a complete load of crap. So fuck Barstool Sports, fuck Dave Portnoy, fuck the Boston Red Sox, and don't do cocaine, ladies and gentlemen. Let this be an anti-cocaine PSA, because if you do it even once, you might turn out like him. So don't do drugs.
And we just
We should have let you close the show.
we just end it on that. That's the mic drop for me.
Yeah, I had Portnoy. My argument was, who is he to tell everybody what the moral high ground is, where, when you have your pregnant wife that you're cheating on. So yeah, you would definitely have no credibility when it comes to the honor, doing the honorable thing. So Portnoy, yeah, it's enough said.
Spot on.
Well, I think you guys got Portnoy pretty well. I don't really know him that well. I thank God that I don't know him. So just to switch it up and to feed my contrarian hunger, I'm going to give it to Nestor Cortez. I'm going to do that on behalf of Rob. Because when you give up 3 pitches and give 3 consecutive home runs, I mean, how do you do that? How do you let that happen? You know what? All the circumstances that have to come together for that to be able to happen. I mean, to me, that was really a message to Yankee fans that, we shouldn't be too upset about Nestor leaving. Nestor was never
delighted. I wanted him gone from the start of last year.
Nestor, after he gave up that home run, and I will come to his defense a little bit, and even Aaron Boone's a little bit. The view that I've heard that was really more of a Yankees front office decision. It was a highly contributed front office decision. I don't think Boone was comfortable with putting him in, but Boone did put him in, and Nestor did give up the home run. Once you give up a shot like that in the World Series on that kind of stage, you really can't come back to the team. You got to do something. But he was never going to be a forever Yankee. So I think he made it easier for those Yankee fans who are still whining and wish that Nestor was still back with the Yankees. And how could we trade Nestor Cortez? Some guys, they have a smaller shelf life than guys like Aaron Judge and Anthony Volpe and Anthony Rizzo. It was just time to go.
Same, John.
We squeeze out all of the Nestor lemon, all the juice out of the Nestor lemon that there was.
It was a no-brainer trade. Do it a million times out of a million.
Yep.
If you don't mind, guys, I just want to take this moment.
That's the end of the awards. So that was a good, fun awards, guys. That was fun. We got lots of different variations. So salute to our debut edition of Donald's Awards.
If I may, I just want to talk about the new podcast that was prompted by you guys. This is called Heroes and History. And first of all, I want to thank you guys for considering me, for reaching out to me and asking me to do this. I think. Well, let me describe the show at first. It's going to be on twice a month. We're going to do the podcast when the Yankees aren't playing. So we will do them when the Yankees either have an off day or when they're playing on the West Coast and starting late. It's going to be a half-hour show. So tonight it starts at 8 o'clock and it's going to end at 8:30. And the focus of the show is going to be on topics that don't really get a lot of focus. So tonight we are going to be recognizing the 30th anniversary of the Yankees making their trade for David Cone. We're also going to talk a little bit about the 30th anniversary of MLB instituting replacement players before the start of the 1995 season, and maybe a couple of other things also. The show might have one topic that we'll talk about. It might have multiple topics. We're going to keep it loose, with the ideas and the things that we talk about. We'll talk about things, at least, ideas that I've thrown out there. Maybe we'll have an episode on Jason Giambi or Darryl Strawberry. Things like the 50th anniversary of the Yankees playing their second year in Shea Stadium, the 35th anniversary of George Steinbrenner getting suspended. We're going to talk about things that don't get a lot of talk about, because I think for Yankee fans really do want to know the history. But I think a lot of us identify more with Moonlight Graham than we do with guys like, Aaron Judge and Derek Jeter. We want to talk about the things that don't really get talked about a lot. And I think a lot of Yankee fans are like that. But there are no rules, no exclusions per se. But I'm really looking forward to doing this with Sierra and with Lynn. And we're going to do it live. So really hope you guys will come in and join us.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we're looking forward to. We're glad it's coming to fruition after months of planning, and a lot of phone calls back and forth of what's going to work, how we're going to go play this out. So I'm really excited to see this finally getting its debut tonight. Especially with that, there's no baseball, so there's no excuse not to tune in.
Yeah.
So, but with that is going to wrap things up for us. We do hope that everybody did enjoy the show. We know we enjoyed talking about the series with you all. The awards, it's always fun to have those back. And always Spencer joining us in the morning. But with that, make sure you just hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out with your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner. So this is the Pitch Strike Chronicles. We do hope everybody does enjoy the rest of their day. We will be back Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. as always. So wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.